Feast of Purim.
Unleash the fury! Crush them all! For honor and glory!
Shalom, 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 Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to Yahweh and to his son Yahweh with a battle axe of the Most High, coming to you with another Sabbath class breakdown. The name of today's class today is Memorials of the Lord, Destruction of Nicanor and the Feast of Purim. Destruction of Nicanor and the Feast of Purim. And we always cover these things because these are real memorials of the Most High, where the Most High God saved his people out of captivity and brought salvation only to us. We have the other nations where they celebrate memorials that they were saved from, like with 4th of July. You know, they bring it up every year, and a lot of times our people don't even understand that we were in captivity during those times. So that wasn't a celebration or a memorial for us. We celebrate real memorials of the Lord where the Most High God is saving his people from destruction. First precept we're going to go to, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 135 and verse number 13.
The book of Psalms, chapter 135 and verse number 13. Thy name, O Lord, endureth forever.
So God's name endured forever. And it endures forever when we give him worship forever. Remembering, reading the scriptures, thinking upon the memorials that he left us in the scriptures. Read on out.
Con, and thy memorial, O Lord, throughout all generations.
And his memorial is throughout all generations. What's found in that memorial is what? Destruction of Nicanor, Feast of Purim, got Passover. You have all of God's high holy day and the heritage that he left unto us as memorials. Even with what? With the destruction of our enemies. He had Moses write these things down so that we could do what? Remember this. Another one. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Come on. So the Most High God left us these memorials so that we could do what? Worship in his name and have true memorials to worship in. Let's get another precept. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 12, verse 14. Because it's important that we remember the acts of the Most High. That's what this is all about. So when we get in a time of distress, we could do what? Remember the acts of the Most High. Go to Exodus, where he brought us salvation. Go to the book of Numbers. Go to Genesis. Go to all these particular books. Go to Revelations and see past, present, and future prophecies to help us overcome these things, our disbelief or lack of faith. You get there, read that out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse number 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord.
Hey, what up?
A feast to the Lord.
And this is going into what? What high holy day is this going into? Going into Passover. And remember, we getting in the Passover spirit. So these are particular chapters, verses that brothers and sisters need to be reading over. That's what we always say. Each time, brothers and sisters, when we have high holy days, brothers and sisters should be doing what? Reading over those high holy days, especially if you are not accustomed to them. You want to make sure, because you know we're going to read over it in class to assure that thing. But guess what? You always want to get a jump start on it. You know, you don't want to always just wait on class for us to read it there and that'll be it. Now, you want to take the time to get familiar with your Bible, man. Read that again from the top.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse number 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord.
Hey, what up?
A feast to the Lord.
And that's what we're doing with the destruction of Nicanor and with the Feast of Purim, showing how the Most High God saved us out of the hands of our enemies. Let's get another memorial. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 17 and verse number 14. Because remember, the Most High God just doesn't have good memorials. He also have what? Destructive memorials. Read this out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, and verse number 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua.
Read on.
For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
We know Amalek is the small hats. Read on.
And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord had sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
This is also a memorial that we have to document, that we have to remember, that we have to keep in remembrance. For one, we know who our enemies are. For two, guess what? We're not letting them get the upper hand on us. And for three, we know that this is what? It's going to be a war waged from generation to generation. So why the Most High God has always given us the upper hand. Always has given us the upper hand. So we'll know what to do in those specific times. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Esther. Real quick, look, Bible trivial. Esther is between what two books? Brother Keith. Esther is between what two books? Job and Nehemiah. All praises. All praise. Let's go to the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 1.
Okay. The book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia.
Pull that map up. Ahasuerus reigned from India even unto Ethiopia. A-S-A-H. Ahaz. Yeah, from India unto Ethiopia. Map. You put Ahasuerus map. Say it again out. Yeah. So let me see. Yeah. Can brothers and sisters see that? Yeah. Now pull up another one. Yeah. Let me see. Go down something. Let's see. Yeah, pull up this one where you see the camel. Yeah. Damn, pull up another one. Because y'all know why I'm asking to pull up another one? Because why we don't see India in that map. That's why I'm looking for a specific one. Let me see. You only see India a little bit right here. But yeah, that one to do. Over. Yeah. So we see Ethiopia. We see Jerusalem. He was over us. So you basically could say all the way from Jerusalem all the way over to India is what this man ruled. And this is when what? The Persian and Medes came into power. Read verse 1 again from the top up.
The book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse number 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia.
Read on.
Over 127 provinces.
So he reigned over 127 provinces. It's a large amount of land. Large amount. Jump down to verse 3.
Verse number 3. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media.
The power of Persia and Media. Read on.
The nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
So he called all his servants. Read on unto him for a feast. Read on.
Verse 4. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty, many days, even 180 days.
So they was partying hard. Read on.
And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
Read on.
Where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple, to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black marble.
So they beautified the palace for this feast. Jump down to verse number 9.
Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
So he had his wife, the queen, make a feast unto the women. Read on up.
On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Harbana, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the princes, so like in the presence of Ahasuerus the king,
Read on.
to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty.
Her what?
Her beauty.
Read on up.
For she was fair to look on.
Read on. So he was showing off his wife. Read on.
Verse 12. But the king Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment.
Read it again up.
But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlain.
So he had an out of order wife. She was totally out of order. Read on up.
Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
Read on.
Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment.
So he counseled with his lawyers and judges. Read on up.
And the next unto him was Karshina, Shathar, Admatha, Tarshish, Maris, Marcina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and was set the first in the kingdom.
Read on up.
What shall we do unto Queen Vashti?
So they are counseling together on what they should do on how to handle this situation. Why? Because if you don't have your wife in order, that can what? Easily trickle down into your whole household. Do brothers understand this? Do sisters understand this? This is very important that we be in order, because a lot of times nations judge nations by what? How well are their women ordered? If the women are in order, then guess what? They have order and structure in their nation. That's why nations roll over us, because they see what? The woman is leading the charge, strong black woman. We're trying to denounce all those terms, and that's something that sisters should be doing by your actions and by your words every day, by the example that y'all bring. Read on up.
Verse 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king of Ahasuerus by the chamber.
So they asking, man, it's a judgment when you don't command or perform the commandment of the king. It's a judgment on that. Read on up.
And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in, so like that are all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So they understood if you have that out of order, it can easily what? Trickle down to a bigger scale. Easily trickle down. That goes for the brothers. If you don't have your spirit in order, how can you then command a household? Your spirit is right, so then you can better command your household. Sister, your wife in order, then guess what? The children in order. Then these, guess what? Trickle down to a bigger situation over the congregation. It's always a trickle down effect, man. Read on up.
Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands husbands in their eyes.
And that's what we see amongst us as a nation of people, because we see the majority of the women despise their husband, despise the marriage. Now y'all see it constantly, man. And we're going to beat these things back down with the Bible. All on TikTok trying to bridge that divide between black men and guess what? Black women, Hispanic women, and Hispanic men, Israelite men and women. They literally trying to bridge that widen that divide between us, man. They have to understand that, guess what? Esau understand these things, man. They totally understand that, guess what? These things can easily filter out of hand. It's like a wildfire that cannot be contained. Read on up.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti, the queen, to be brought in before him. But she came not.
But she what?
But she came not.
Jump down to verse number 20.
Verse number 20. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small.
So he made a decree that, guess what? Wives should honor their husbands, both great men and small men, meaning men that have power and just what? Regular old average Joe. This was a decree because they see how things could get out of order. A lot of times we have to understand this is how the Most High God, they learned this from us on how the Most High God constantly gave us what? Laws, statutes, and commandments to govern ourselves as a nation of people. To where he literally gave us what? Deuteronomy 22:5, to where we have to come up out of the dress code of Egypt, and he gave us our dress code. Guess what? Men put on pants, women put what? On dresses, because he understood the Most High God knows about spirits, man. He created these spirits. You wearing pants puts a masculine spirit on you. A man wears a dress puts a feminine spirit on you. You got somebody? Go ahead.
Are you going back to 19?
No, you go.
Read 19 for me right quick.
Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered.
That it be not altered or changed. Read.
That Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
So you see that the Lord is now doing what? He's using what? His will or the predestination of the children of Israel to come and play right now. This is what this is about. The Lord is using Vashti for the predestination of the children of Israel. Because now it's a decree saying, well, Vashti can't come apart no more. So who are we getting now? Esther, right? So these things always play a part. Understand what we're going to. Anybody got a precept for number 19? I'm thinking Proverbs. I'm thinking Proverbs 21. Let's go to that right quick, because that's another good one too. But let's go to Proverbs. And this might be what you're thinking. We see predestination coming into play a lot of times with Israel. Things are happening for our lot to be what? Produced or for our cause. A lot of things in the Bible happen exactly for the predestination of us because the Lord chose us, right? They say, oh, Jacob stole it. No, it was predestinated that thing was going to happen, right? In this case, we see the predestination of Esther or the children of Israel rising, coming up top, prevailing.
And real quick, we give back to Captain. I'm glad that he put it that way. What's another thing that happened today for us? That's right.
U.S. and
U.S. and Iran, they bombed
Iran.
Iran, and Iran retaliated.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if you're not in the spirit, you can't even see that that's for us. Why is that for us? Because it's bringing about World War III. The quicker World War III comes about, the quicker we get the hell up out of here. That's why brothers and sisters have to be tuned in to what's going on in the news and going on in the world. You can see it unfolding day by day. Go ahead, Doc.
Read that. Proverbs 21:1.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse number 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Because we know who is in rulership right now, the Persian and Medes. But even though they were in rulership, their hand still had to be played by they played the hand that the Most High God gave them, right? They were only in rulership because of the Most High God gave them that. And he gave them that for a reason to what? Ultimately put Israel over their enemies at this time. Read it again.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water.
As the rivers of water, right? Read.
He turneth it whithersoever he will.
And this is exactly what the Most High God did at this time. He turned our captivity into what? Prevailing, right around this time. So just to point out 19 is heavy because it shows you the turn. This is the turn right here in 19. That there's a new decree that's about to come out that Vashti is now not finna be the queen in the war, but now we're finna have another woman coming to play. So that's it on that.
Jump down to chapter 2.
The book of Esther, chapter 2 and verse number 1.
This is like a quick reading of Esther. Read this out.
Khan. After these things, when the wrath of the king of Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
So he's looking for what? Another queen. Read on up.
Khan. And let the king appoint officers in all provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan, the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Hez, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their let their things for purification be given them.
And this is also, what's another name for this? Who said it? Say it again. A beauty pageant, but the man's title. He was also known as a what? He could be known as a eunuch. A eunuch is someone that keeps the maidens of the king's women. And they had to have their private parts cut off so that they wouldn't what? Sleep with the women. That's why a lot of those things were instituted. Read on up.
Khan. Verse number 4. And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so.
Read on up.
Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Lair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
So we see he was a Benjamite. Read on up.
Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jochanaan, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
So now we start to see how this history is unfolding. We see that, guess what? He was taken captive out of the captivity of what? Babylon. So we see how what the Persian and Medes ultimately overtook the Babylonians, and the things that the Babylonians had became what? The Persian and Medes. This is why it's very important to understand history, how these things are what? A transferring of power. Let's go to the book of Sirach. That's all that it is. That's all history is a transferring of power. And we see it's about to transfer over once again, and not to Moab. Moab, sit down somewhere, man. You ain't gonna get nothing. Go to Sirach chapter 11, chapter 10, and verse number 8. Con. Brothers and sisters have to program and discipline themselves about getting into the history. Once you get into the history, you further understand the plot. Even like Captain Yara just said, you understand how the Most High God puts things in motion. Most High God, they having songs about no, the Most High God got real motion. Read this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse number 8. Because of unrighteous dealing, injuries, and riches got by deceit.
Read on.
The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And this just doesn't go for Israel. This goes for all nations as a whole. Because we see that Babylonians were wicked. So the Most High God, guess what? Had their kingdom taken and given it to another people. That's what we see right here in Esther chapter 2. Read it again.
Con, Esther chapter 2 and verse number 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jochanaan, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
Read on up.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
So he basically adopted his own cousin to take care of them. That's a noble thing to do, especially when, guess what? Child loses a father or a mother. Guess what? We take in that place, and guess what? Be as a father and be as a mother to that son or to that daughter, man, to maintain that. Guess what? That nucleus in that family structure, man. Because a lot of times you can't do nothing without strong family structure, man. It's hard as hell. You may fall on hard times. If you don't have a family structure there, bro, you could be lost in the system. Read on out.
So like verse number 8. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also into the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her things for purification, which such things belonged to her, and 7 maidens, which were meant to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women.
So the Most High God put favor on Esther, put favor like he does on many of our people, man. Sister was beautiful. But a lot of times sisters have to understand you use your beauty for your nation and just what? Not for yourself. We're talking about in times of need. We want to make sure that it's understanding that comes with that. It's wisdom that comes behind it. Meaning what? You're not just being selfish out here. This is the point. This is the whole point of the matter, man. You, guess what? Looking out for your nation of people. Even like as sisters acquire what? Skills of being nurses, even as brothers acquire, guess what? Even like we always give props to brother Keith. Know him and Officer Keith, they know how to fix on cars. You don't think that they ain't using those skills to help brothers and sisters, man? Mom Mariah, she has nursing skills. They use those skills for what? For the betterment of their people. And it's like any other brother and sister that have skills and things that you can help out your nation with. You may have a sister that know how to do taxes. You may know a brother that give great financial advice, or guess what? Or fitness instructions. We use those skills that the Most High God gives us to do what? To better our nation. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Read on up.
Verse number 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
Read verse 10 again.
Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
Twin, what does that mean? Because brothers should have a footnote by this. It says she had not shown her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged that she should not show it. Yeah, that's the other point. But what's the deeper point in that? Who knows the point? What you got, Azariah? Who knows? Meaning she didn't have. Israelites come what? In many shades and in many colors. It's not a distinct look that Israel have to have. Meaning she could have passed for a Persian. Right. She could have passed for an Indian. She could have passed for what? Many nations. That's what we always tell brothers and sisters. They always think that an Israelite got to look like Sidney Poitier or Wesley Snipes. No, brother, you ain't black enough. Brother, we come in many different shades and many different colors. Right. Some of us have thin nose. Some of us have thick nose. We have thin lips, thin lips. It's not a distinct look for an Israelite. Why? Because we mixed amongst the people. This is why he said that, because she was beautiful. She could have passed for any nation. This is the point of that. Read on up.
Verse 11. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purification accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
And that's even for the sisters. Think about that, sisters. Y'all allowed 1 day or a few hours for y'all to be pampered. Think about y'all getting pampered for a whole year. That's some royalty right there, man. That's some power right there. And this is the whole thing that the Most High God is, guess what, bringing back to us if we do what? Keep the commandments and have faith in Christ, man. This is what this is all about. Read on up. Like we always say, your brother smell you coming from Luke 12. Damn, she smell good. Read on up.
Verse 13. Then thus came every maiden unto the king. Whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
Jump down to verse 15.
Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed.
So she was humbled. Read on up.
And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her.
Hey, she obtained favor. We know our foremother Esther was what? She was bad. Beautiful. Read on up. No, but this is the thing. Was she just beautiful on the outside? No, she was even more beautiful on the inside because she showed previously that she had a what? A humble and meek spirit. Read on up.
Come, verse 16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women.
Read on up.
And she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
Hey, this is some heavy stuff right here, man. She replaced Vashti. Jump down to verse 20.
Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlain, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
So we have these two spies in there, or two assassins that was looking to do what? To kill King Ahasuerus. And Mordecai got word on that. This is the Most High God showing favor not only to Esther, but also to Mordecai. And that also lets sisters know you always have a counselor amongst. Mordecai's was Esther's counselor on how she should move. Read on up.
Khan. Salakia. Verse number 22. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen, and Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
So she went and told the king, guess what? My cousin found out that guess what? They was planning to assassinate you. Read on up. So that put them in what? Even more favor. Read on up.
And when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king.
Read on up.
Chapter 3 and verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Ammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him.
So we know Haman ultimately is a what? He's a Edomite, and brothers should have the lineage. We can literally trace their lineage from Esau, Edom, all the way up into America using the Bible. And brothers and sisters should know that. I'm going to ask that after class. Read on up.
And advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So he got great favor as well. Read on up.
And all the king's servants that were in the king's gates bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence him.
Because he understood that he was an Edomite. I'm not going to bow before this man. I'm not bowing before him, man. He's my mortal enemy. I'm not doing it, man. Read on up.
Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai his matters would stand.
Read on, Salakia.
For he had told them that he was a Jew.
He was a what?
He was a Jew.
So you know that hatred is already set in there because they what? They have a perpetual hatred for us. That means a never-ending hatred. That's why it's pivotal to know who your enemy is. That's why Esau is predicated on saying that everybody is one. So he constantly does what? Hide himself among the people. Matter of fact, we have to get it so brothers and sisters can have it. Give me 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 5, to show you that, guess what? Haman is an Edomite. Yeah, 1 Samuel 15, 5. Make sure y'all write it down real quickly. Read that up.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, and verse number 5.
Uh-huh.
And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley.
Read on up.
And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them.
Uh-huh.
For you show kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
Read on.
And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur. This is over against Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
So you have Esau, Edom. Edom had Amalek, and out of Amalek we had what? Agag. Let's go to Esther. We'll just go ahead and get it to prove this real quick. Say it again out. Say it again. On which one? Oh, yeah, come on. Jump down to verse, you said 10 in 1 Samuel? Which one you talking about, Captain Yard? Real quick. Go to Esther, chapter 12, verse 6 in the Apocrypha. Yeah. Just to show y'all that Haman is an Edomite. This is the point. Yeah, 12 and 6. Y'all have to link the precepts up. Read this out.
The book of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 12 and verse number 6.
And we're going to read it again. Read on.
Be it Haman, the son of Amadathus, the Agagite.
The who?
The Agagite.
This Ammon is the same Haman in the Bible. This is just spelled in the Greek. This is the same person. Ammon and Haman. Read it again from the top.
The book of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 12 and verse number 6. Howbeit Ammon, the son of Amadathus, the Agagite, who is in great honor with the king, sought to molest Mardochus.
Mordecai. Same thing.
Mordecai and his people because of the two eunuchs of the king.
So it's saying the same thing. It's just written in the Greek. So we see that what Esau had Amalek, Amalek had Agag, and we see Agag had who? Haman. Do brothers and sisters see that? Since you look confused. Esau had Amalek. Amalek had Agag. Agag had Haman. He comes out of that lineage, showing you that, guess what? They are all Edomites. Then we can see how, guess what? Alexander the Greek come up out of them. And we know that he's the what? Of the Grecians, the Macedonians. Then out of the Greeks come the Romans. Then out of the Romans come what? The Americans. Literally pinning it all the way down to the end. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. No, not that one. Because we wanted one a little bit more. We'll make one because we want that mug even simpler than that. Because even on that one, it's a lot of pieces that you have to pull. You don't even have to pull that one up. Let's go back to Esther chapter 3. We're just showing you that Haman is an Edomite. That's why the hatred was so set in him when he found out that what? Mordecai was a Jew. Esther chapter 3 and verse number 5. Thanks, Ak.
The book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse number 5.
Uh-huh.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
So he was pissed off because that hatred had already been set there. Read on up.
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
Now, if you got a problem, this lets you know that this is a deep, perpetual hatred. Now, if you got a problem with Mordecai, why not just deal with Mordecai? Why would you want to destroy him and all his nation? Because of the perpetual hatred. Give me the book of Ezekiel, what? 35. Ezekiel 35 and verse number 5. Salaki, start up at verse 2.
Con. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse number 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
So where's Seir, Brother Renard? Why did I ask Brother Renard that? Who know why? Last week. That's why I need Bruce to write it down. Seir is Petra. Modern day Petra. Seir is Edom. This is the place where they live. So this is the context. That's why we read verse 2 first. Now jump down to verse 5.
Verse number 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
So we see that they have a never-ending hatred towards us. This is where this spirit comes from Haman, because of the prophecies that the Most High God has literally put in their spirit. They made them to be the polar opposites of us. Go back, Esther chapter 3 and verse number 6.
Come. The book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse number 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
So he put a plan in place to kill all the Jews, all the Israelites. Read on up.
In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pure.
They cast what?
They cast pure.
Read on up.
That is the lot.
That's what pure means. The lot, meaning the lot that we were put in. Read on up.
Before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar.
Make sure, brothers and sisters, underline it. I'm going to ask that question again to some people that I see that they think I ain't looking. Make sure y'all write it down, because this is the whole thing. Brothers and sisters must know what the word PURIM means. Or we celebrate something we don't even know what it's even about. Read on up.
Verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom.
Israelites, read on.
And their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
So we always have nations trying to do what? Slander us, because we want to do what? Keep God's laws rather than man's laws. We are always gonna have that. Guess what? That's coming back around again. It's slowly coming back around. So we don't want brothers and sisters to be calling it. Wait, what? Why? No, you should know why. You should know why, sis. Because we're Israelites and we're striving to keep the laws of the Most High and are casting off the laws of the other nations. It's no secret. It's no secret, man. So you can't be caught off guard. That's why the Most High God has given us this memorial to do what? To prepare us. That's what this is all about. Preparation. Read on up.
Verse number 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries.
So we have always had nations, especially Esau, to do what? To slander us as a nation of people. We've always had that. Guess what? It's going to come back around again. We see it. They're a cult. They're terrorists. They do this. They do that. And like we always say, you never see us going to Esau's place and burning the manure in their front yard. When one of the laws of the Most High God is thou what? Thou shalt not kill. Come on, man. It makes absolutely no damn sense. Give me First Ezra, chapter 8. Popular persuasion and commotion. First Ezra chapter 8. Is it? Nah, Salakia. First Ezra, thank God. First Ezra chapter 5 and verse 70. Start at verse 71.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 5. He says 71.
Yeah.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 5 and verse number 71.
Bring it out.
We ourselves alone will build unto the Lord of Israel.
So we don't need the other nations interfering on what we have. We can build alone to the Most High God. We don't need their help, man. Read on up.
According as Cyrus, the king of the Persians, hath commanded us. But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea and holding them straight, hindered their building.
That's why the Most High God commands us to separate ourselves from the nations, because they do what? They hinder us in building. We have had it time and time after again and again. Read on up.
And by their secret plot.
And by their what?
And by their secret plot.
Name me a secret plot, Brother Bilal, just one. COINTELPRO, meaning counterintelligence against Black Americans. Do brothers and sisters understand that? What is another secret plot? Let me see if a sister's in the spirit. Sister Destiny, what's a secret plot that they put out here? Or it can be used? A secret plot. Say it again, sis. What you mean by that? Be a little bit more specific. Meaning weapons that they use to put lies out there. Go ahead, Sister Yadawan's wife. Go ahead, sis. Say it again, sis. Oh, yeah, that's another. That's a great
one.
That's a great one, because that's evil communication. What's the main one? Any brother or sister? What's the main one? What you got, Lil Ben and I? Social media. That's good. Social media. You have what? Instagram?
Oh, really? We can't get no clap for Lil Ben and I, huh? When our young junior ox in the making, our praise. Yeah, come on with it, man.
Social media, man. That's a great one. What you have, Sister Adiva? Sports. And the other one is what? Television. The news. Where they constantly do what? Put out unreliable facts, statistics against us, and paint us in a bad light. This is a part of a secret plot. Read on up.
And by their secret plots and popular persuasions,
they persuade the people. Prime example. Feminism, that's one. But prime example, even in my own personal life, my brother, I teach him the truth. No, he's married. I ain't seen my sister-in-law, I don't know how long. But she think we're in a cult. So, I mean, where do you go from us making a church to now we're in a cult? I mean, come on. Just even like that. And then I ask, like, you can ask me any question that you want. You know, I don't mind telling you what we believe in, what the Bible says. You think she's going to get on that phone? No, because people don't want to hear the actual truth about the Bible. They just want to hear what they think they know about the Bible. That's it. Read on up.
And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions.
The commotions is going to what? The United Nations. Hey, Israelites is waking up. Why don't we have anybody sitting in our seat for the United Nations? We don't have nobody up there. So those commotions is them talking about what happened. We even put up the video months ago where they had that lady that is a small hat lady. And she was talking about, what are you going to do about the young blacks in America? Those young blacks, she means young Israelites that's waking up, that are on those corners, teaching those people that Bible. Read on up.
And commotions. They hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
Read on up.
So they were hindered from building from the space of 2 years until the reign of Darius.
So that's why we have to separate ourselves, because they can hinder and stop this growth. They stopped that during that time for what? For the space of 2 years. Can you imagine not teaching the truth for 2 years, man? Come on, man. Let's go back. You have some? Go ahead.
Now that's secret plots. is what? We all are one, right? Brother. Every time Esau come around talking about brother, you better understand it's a plot behind that. Because he know he ain't your brother. Well, we always say, what's coming next? You working 8 hours, what we working today? 12, brother. Yes, brother, 12. Oh, we all are one. That's a secret plot. And that has hindered us right now. Because we out here constantly, and like we say, when we out there in the streets, who they always trying to take care of? Esau. They don't care. They ain't talking about China. They don't care about them. At the end of the day, they try to say, well, it's everybody. But y'all trying to take up for the ones who got the secret plots, because they the ones talking about, hey, yeah, we're brothers. We're one. It's the blood of Christ. Multi-ethnic church. All right, these are all secret plots, though. Go ahead.
Read verse 9. Esther chapter 3, verse 9.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, and verse number 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
So because he didn't bow down to him, he want all our people to be destroyed. And he fabricated a lie saying that we did something that we didn't do. Read on up.
That they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasury.
And guess what? He put a bounty on his head, basically, man. Wicked as hell. Read on.
And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it into Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
The who?
The Jews' enemy.
Brothers need to underline that. We have to underline that because the Bible is telling us plainly that Jews have enemies. We didn't say that. We didn't make that up. That's why they constantly push there is neither Jew nor Greek, so they can take this out of your mind. What they doing to you now, they still love you even though they do this to y'all in the streets. That's some crazy work right there. Go ahead,
Anybody got a precept of verse 8?
For real.
But that's a heavy precept. I know we reading for time's sake, but that's exactly right. That is a heavy precept. Make sure you put rest of Esther 13 and 4 and 5 because it speaks on I'm going to tell y'all, that's why they take this out, man. This thing is hitting hard. It's showing you the enemies and what they did, their secret plots. It's showing you that our laws diverse from everybody else's laws, man. That there's certain people. And because of that, they call us what? Malicious. That's why they always say I was afraid of the niggas. And no, you're not. Because we ain't did nothing to nobody. But we got malicious on our head. We got fear. You feared me? A black man riding in a car? No, I feared you as soon as I hit the corner and seeing you in my review. I got mom on the phone. Soon as I hit the corner, just in case if you roll me. We the ones in fear. We the ones should be in fear. But they look at us as inferior. But it's showing you that they are our enemies continually. These are all they go together. The plots, the secret plots, the comment, the
popular persuasion.
Popular persuasion, Salaki. What you had out? Definitely. Right. You know, that's definitely the precept. Right? Psalms 83. In order to get past your enemy, you got to know that they're enemy first. Oh man, we do not know that we have enemies, man.
That's right.
And like I said, that's heavy. Hammedat, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. We have enemies, man. People don't want you to be those great people that the Lord chose you to be. Go ahead.
So once again, brothers, write it down. Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 9, and Psalms 83. Next to verse 10. Bruce shouldn't even ask me what verse. Bruce should already know. Bruce should be locked in. If Bruce asking, Bruce got to get further in the spirit and further locked in. Verse number 10, Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 9, and Psalms 83. The point being our enemies. Underline it. Remember, it's y'all notes. Whatever y'all need to better understand the scriptures, that's what y'all use. Me, I underline certain key words and put those key notes, those key precepts to home in the point. Do everybody got it? Con, jump down to verse 13.
Con, the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse number 13. And the letters were sent by post to all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old,
Read on.
little children and women in one day.
In what?
In one day.
Man, they was trying to get rid of us, man. Now you see how the Most High God is doing what? Ultimately reversing on them. Right. What precept can you think of? I can spirit. And in 1 hour shall their judgment come. And in 1 hour will this place be wiped off the map. Because think about it, many times you're trying to kill us all in one day, man. Come on, man. That's some hatred. That's some deep hatred right there, man. Read that right quick.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse number 17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught.
It's come to what?
It's come to naught.
Read on.
And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoking of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city.
That what?
That great city.
Read on.
Wherein were made rich all that bad had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour.
For in what?
For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
So we see the Most High God say, the Most High God is marvelous in his judgments, man. So don't think that you can reap something. You can sow something, you're not going to reap that thing. Go back to the book of Esther. Chapter 3, verse 13.
The book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 13 from the top. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey.
For a what?
For a prey.
Jump down to chapter 4, verse 1.
Chapter 4 and verse number 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry.
What did Mordecai do? He seen what was happening. He immediately did what? He humbled himself. That's what we have to do in the time of distress and the time of affliction. Humble ourselves, come to the Most High God with prayer and with what? And with fasting. These are the weapons to overcome this. That's why all praise to the Most High. Officer Barakah, like we said, us fasting as a congregation, even the things that Captain Jerobal had already instilled, trying not to leave off from those things, man, because we want the Most High God to do what? Not only just to bless us, but bless us as a whole congregation. And furthermore, into what? Into a nation as well. That's why all praise to the brothers that put out a nationwide fast. And if brothers and sisters have the opportunity, hey, yeah, we should fast with one another, man. Read on out.
Verse number 2. And came even before the king's gate.
Read on.
For none might enter to the king's gate clothed with sackcloth.
Read on.
And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting.
And what up?
And fasting.
Read on up.
And weeping and wailing. And many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
So many of our people was doing what? Humbling themselves in fasting and prayer, asking the Most High God to do what? Eventually fight for us. That's what prayer and fasting does. A lot of times brothers and sisters have to build up their faith to be able to see that thing on a spiritual level. Jump down to verse 4.
So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai to take away the sackcloth from him, but he received it not.
How can he receive comfort in a time when, guess what? It's a hit out on our whole nation. Read on up.
Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
So she's trying to find out why. Read on up.
So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate.
Read on.
And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them.
To what up?
To destroy them.
To destroy them. Read on up.
Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king, to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him.
So he appointed her to, guess what? To go and speak on our behalf, to do what? To save your people. Jump down to verse number 11.
Verse number 11, all the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether a man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called.
Who is what?
Who is not called.
Who is not called. Read on.
There is one law of his to put him to death.
So you couldn't just approach unto the king. If you approach the king without him calling you, you were put to death. Read on up.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live.
So he had to hold out his golden scepter to allow you to come in unto him. Read on up.
But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
And she was telling her, I ain't been called. He ain't looked for me in 30 days. Read on up.
Come. And they told to Mordecai Esther words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Hey, don't forget who you are and where you come from. Don't think that, guess what, you're going to escape. And guess what? We face that judgment. No, you're going to follow that same judgment as well once they get word. So we have to remember that. That's why, hey, don't remember. That's that old saying, don't remember where you come from. Don't remember these things, man. Now we remember that we come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. That should mean a lot to brothers and sisters, man. That should immediately put you in the spirit to know that these literally are our forefathers, man. God's chosen lineage, man. That instantly is a confidence booster, man. Read on up.
Con. Verse number 14. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
Shall be what?
Shall be destroyed.
On up.
And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such at a time as this? Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me.
And do what up?
And fast ye for me.
That's another powerful thing. Guess what? We can fast for one another. When brothers and sisters are out of the spirit, you can't seem to, guess what, get in control of their spirit. Call a sister, call a brother, and do what? Ask them to fast for you. Well, brother, can we fast together? Hey, sister, we can fast together during this time, man. When you do that, that let your brother or your sister know that, guess what, I'm in a fight with you, man. Guess what? I feel what you feel, man. Because like you say, if one of us ain't free, ain't none of us free, man. We have to always keep that mindset. That's Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. You loving your brother as you love yourself, man. Read on up.
Con. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink these 3 days, night or day.
Read on.
I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
Hey, she was putting it out there, man. But we know that the Most High God deals with us. Guess what? If you in the right spirit of fasting, this is the point. What's that one in Sirach? Sirach chapter 34 and verse number 24. 34 and 24. Read that right quick out.
Con. The book of Sirach, chapter 34 and verse number 24. When one prayeth and another curseth, whose voice will the Lord hear?
When one prayeth and another cursing, who do you think the Most High God really hears, man? Think about it. When we proclaiming a fast to build up the congregation, to build a brother or sister up, do you think the Most High God is going to hear that prayer faster than you trying to curse a brother? Destroy a brother? Read on out.
Con. He that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing?
Read on.
So is it with a man that fasteth for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same. Who will hear his prayer? Or what doeth his humbling prophet?
So we want to make sure that we are fasting what in the right spirit, so that what that the Most High God can hear that prayer, man. That He can hear that fasting, man, or see that fasting and see that you sincere about these things. That's why whenever brothers and sisters have that particular type of spirit issue, let a brother or sister know, man. Let the congregation know. That's what we here for. Go back, Esther chapter 4. Now, Esther chapter 5, verse 1.
The book of Esther, chapter 5, and verse number 1.
Remember, we skimming through it. Read on.
Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house.
So now, where we at? Let me see what brother Twin. What's the point? Why did she do that? And do what? That's right. Plead the cause of what? That's right. I need to make sure brothers and sisters are paying attention. We don't.
Done. And it was so when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
Hey, boy, you know she put that thing on this. She put it on, man. He instantly, hey, now come here, baby. Say, come here. I'm gonna tell you, and that's another, hey, that's some wisdom right there. I ain't gonna, sister should know that though. What's the point? Who knows the point? The clocking no damn T. You clock them scriptures. Like, this is what y'all should be doing. Flipping them scriptures, because this is just showing you sisters put that on for their husband. First, you put it on for the Most High, ultimately. Then for your husband. Ain't none of the husband won't do for y'all if it's in righteousness. This is the point of that. That's some wisdom. Read on up.
Come. Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, What wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request?
Hey, baby, what you want, man? I'll give you the world. Read on up.
It shall be even given to thee to the half of the kingdom.
Damn. Say. Damn.
She was Bath and Body Works up, wasn't she?
Say. Cucumber melon up, boy.
Bro said you can have half for the kingdom. What is it?
Well, rent it out.
Nah,
Forget all that.
You can have whatever you like. Hell yeah.
Damn. Read on up.
Con. Verse number 4. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Say, she was using wisdom as well. Read on up.
Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther had said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
Jump down to verse 7.
Then answered Esther and said, My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king had said.
Read on up.
Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
So he seen Mordecai again, man. It instantly, y'all know how Esau, man, y'all know, and y'all know y'all can feel it. Even when we walking by, that look that we give one another, you can feel it. You already know. A lot of times they looking down, get a glimpse of your friends. They damn sure know it then. Go ahead,
Y'all already know that little black dog, man. That meme, that dog. Y'all gotta see this dog, man. That little dog, you look at him. All the way, then you look at the camera like this. That's how Haman looked at Mordecai. He was cool in the mud. Seen Mordecai pass by, he just look, this nigga here. Looking at, I'm gonna get down on this nigga.
Jump down to verse 9. Again.
Verse number 9. Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh his wife.
Hey, them dogs.
Oh, look
give
at
spell-
Haman, man. Look at Haman. A true dog, ain't it?
Read on, huh?
Khan, verse number 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children.
Hey, showing off, being prideful. Read on out.
And all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king.
Jump down to verse 14.
Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon.
Hey, y'all know it's a spirit behind it, man, because that's why they constantly do what to us as a nation of people?
Hanged thereon.
It's spirits behind that, man. We see this thing, guess what, repeated throughout history. That's why they don't want people knowing who these people really are. Because if you understand that these people are who they are in the Bible, you see the same thing recurring throughout history, time and time again. You don't see no other nation known for hanging Negroes outside of so-called Caucasian on the level that they did. I ain't saying that other nations didn't do it. Let me correct that. But we see that same spirit right here. He wanted that thing built 50 feet. Why? So everybody could see it.
Right.
Similar to what they do now when they held it on Sundays after church. Wicked as hell. Go ahead, Officer Barakai. Feet, that's right. That's hot, man. He wanted the whole kingdom to see that thing. That is, man. He really wanted his head to come off his neck. That's what they really wanted to happen. Read on up.
Khan. And tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
So even now, he's listening to his wife. Esau, man. Wicked as hell. Jump down to verse chapter 6, verse 1.
Chapter 6 and verse number 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king.
So you know at night when the king can't sleep, he had the book of the chronicles of the records, meaning records that they recorded throughout history. So he's reading a book, reading over the records. Read on up.
And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, that the keepers of the door who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said,
this is what the guys we read in what? Chapter 2, verse 21. Read on up.
And the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this?
So he's reading on what Mordecai did to him. He's like, damn, how do we reward this guy? Man, this guy needed a reward, man, for saving my life. Read on up.
Then said the king's servants that minister unto him, there is nothing done for him. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he prepared for him.
So that's what we say. As you sowing, you have to be careful because you'll reap that thing. Right. You will sow what you reap, man. Read on up. Reap what you sow, Salakia. Read on.
And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. And so Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
So he had like, damn, who is he coming to honor more than me? Read on.
And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Read on.
Let the royal apparel be brought, which the king useth, so like he used to wear.
So he's bringing out the best. Read on up.
And the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head.
Read on.
And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man with all whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city.
Read on.
And proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Read on.
Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew.
Even to who?
To Mordecai the Jew.
Read on.
That sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
Man, I would have gave all the money in the world to see his face at that time, man. I'm talking about, man, Lord, take us back in time, man. And all praise to the Most High, man. Christ show us that thing. Lord's will in the kingdom, man. Show us that exact look. Crazy, man. Read on up.
Con. Verse 11. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai and brought him on horseback through the street of the city.
Man, do y'all know how much of a spectacle that is, man? That's literally saying the same thing as when the Most High God sent Christ back, and he's going to make these nations do a worship at our feet. Can you see the amazement on these people's face when they see, damn, y'all really are the Israelites, man? Give me that in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then we'll go to the Revelations.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Stand in what up?
Stand in great boldness.
Read on up.
Before the face of such as afflicted him.
Read on.
And made no account of his labor.
So we see he afflicted him, and he didn't make no account of our labors, man. Read on up.
When they see it.
When Haman saw it, read on.
They shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Read on up.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Of Mordecai's and our people's salvation. Read on up.
So far beyond all that they look for.
Hey, that's some heavy stuff right there, man. Go to the book of Revelation, chapter 2. Then we're coming back.
Shit.
2 and 9. No, 3 and 9. Worship at thy feet.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse number 9.
Bring it out.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
So we know the people saying that they are and are not. Read on.
But do lie.
But they what?
But do lie.
Read on up.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
Read on up.
And to know that I have loved thee.
That's the same thing that the Most High God did with them, man. Did with Haman in that situation. He's making them worship. Now you got to worship me or pay homage to me, because we know that the Most High God loved us, because we are doing what? Keeping his commandments. Go back to that Esther. Esther chapter 6, verse 12.
The book of Esther, chapter 6 and verse number 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate.
Read on up.
But Haman hasted to his house, mourning and having his head covered.
So he pissed off. Now he mourning. Now the roles are reversed. They reverse. Read on up.
And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him.
So now she giving him some wise counsel. He should have, guess what? Shouldn't have left off from that first counsel and listened to this counsel. Jump down to chapter 7, verse 1.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen.
Jump down to verse 3.
Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given at my partition. And my people at my request.
And my people and my request. Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
Read on up.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
Is this what up?
Is this wicked Haman?
Read on up.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Hey, now he was afraid. Jump back up to verse 4. Salakia.
Verse number 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we have been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue.
He said, I'd rather us just been in slavery. Read on up.
Although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Read on up.
Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
Like, who is this guy that's trying to kill you and your nation of people? Jump down to verse 6.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy Is this wicked Haman?
Is this what?
Is this wicked Haman?
Now you paid anything to see that look on his face. Find out that he was a Jew and an Israelite. And the people you trying to, guess what? To kill and destroy.
That's right.
Read on out.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Read on out.
And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house?
Like, damn, they ain't trying to violate my wife. Read on out.
As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
Hey, you know when you get that black bag over your face, it's a wrap, man. Take them out, man. Read on out.
And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows, 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
Hang what up?
Hang him thereon.
Hang him thereon, man. All praise, man. That's all praise to the Most High for that, man. How he saved us out of that situation and turned, guess what? Something that was in a dire situation into what? A glorious situation, man.
That's right.
That's why brothers and sisters have to be careful on things that they, guess what you sow, you can reap that thing, man. Give me that in the book of what I want, Galatians. God is not mocked, man. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Read that out.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse number 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
God is not what?
God is not mocked.
Read on out.
For whatsoever a man soweth.
For whatever you sow, if you sowing hatred and death and destruction upon his chosen people, especially ones that are sincere and trying to strive to keep the commandments, read on out.
That shall he also reap.
Guess what? You're going to reap that thing, man. You reap what you sow, man. That is a old saying, man. And that saying comes from the scripture. Now you cold. Now you cold. Damn. Officer Keenan, what you going to do with him, out? Jump down. You have some out? Go ahead, out.
Let's go to Proverbs 16 and 7. You know, main precept that we pull, man. You have to be in order with the Most High God for him to change things over for you, man. This is what Mordecai was doing. This is what Esther did. They stayed in order, man. Esther never went against the decree of Mordecai, right? She never said, well, nah, I look good enough. You know, these sisters, they think they look good enough to get out of everything. No, you're still a nigga, sister. Yeah, you got your eyelashes on. Yeah. Hey, you still one of them. But she never went against the decree. Mordecai kept it, what? Kept it all the way down, man, right? Read this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse number 7.
Bring it out.
When a man ways please the Lord,
he
maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
So the Lord made the enemy of Israel be at peace with them, right? Persian and Medes were over us at that time, right? They could have easily just went on and just killed us off, right? But because Mordecai and because Esther ways pleased the Lord with what they were doing at that time, he made the enemies be at peace with us, right? And then it's so calculated how the Lord did this thing, that it was a banquet made up, that they were drinking a little wine on top of him finding out that you had tried to kill Esther and her people. Now you in the bed like you finna sleep out. Look, y'all know that did it. If it was there, he had a little wine on him too. He was at the banquet chilling. This nigga trying to sleep with my wife too. Yeah, go get him. But the ways of the Lord, he made the enemies will become our what? Peaceful, man. All right? Yeah, we ain't want to kill him no more.
Go to Esther 8 and 1.
The book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse number 1. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her.
Jump down to verse 3.
And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite, and his device, that he had devised against the Jews.
Read on up.
Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king and said, if it please the king, and if I found favor in his sight, and the thing seemed right before the king, and if I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews, which are in all the king's provinces.
So not only, like I said, he was put to death, but she had him do what? Reverse what was going to happen to the children of Israel, man. All praises for that, man. That's what you do. That's how you fight for your nation, man. And that's how the Most High God fights for us as a nation. Jump down to verse 9.
Verse number 9. Then were the king's scribe called at that time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai command unto the Jews and to the lieutenants and the deputies and rulers of the provinces, which are from India unto Ethiopia, 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing, and according to their language.
And according to their language. Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12, upon one day in all provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar.
Jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and a decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day.
And a what up?
In a good day.
And a good day. That's what Feast of Purim is all about. A feast and a good day. In the memorial of the Most High for him saving us out of the hands of our mortal enemy.
And a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews.
Stop. What that mean? What does that mean? Any brother, raise your hand. Precepts only. What does that mean? Nobody want to take a stab at it? That means brothers ain't got precepts written down. Damn. Go on, hit the brother Bilal. Damn. What you got, twin? What's the part that we focusing on?
Did you guess what was the point of Isaiah 14:1?
Where were you looking at in Isaiah 14:1? Right. Right.
You got it, twin? Hold your feet. You gonna help him out, Brother Renard? Go ahead, Captain. Help him out, Brother Carl.
How did they become Jews? But precept, precept was that. Where though? See, you didn't call it bad precept. Nah, we just want you to explain it. That's right.
This is a precept that they always try to get us with. The point that they saying, and they became Jews, people think what? That they can now become a spiritual Israelite, or that you can physically become a Jew. Go ahead, Captain Jeremiah.
And this is the epitome of, they like, well, we're gonna be there with y'all, yes, in servitude though. This is the whole point. You're gonna be there, they're gonna be there in servitude. They're not gonna be here as equal, because in this society, guess what? Even in the time of when the Greek took over, guess what? They wanted to be all as one, the same as they are now. They wanted, like Captain Yard was talking about here. They want to be as one. What's called what Captain Ben and I just went through, that popular persuasion. That's what it's all about. But in this context, all them trying to be, they became as Jews, meaning as what? They're gonna be under God's law, statutes, and commandments, but under how? Servitude as slaves. Right? That's what we want you to say. Okay, that's why I asked you, was you guessing? Right?
Read Isaiah 14:1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse number 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land.
So the Lord yet chose Israel in this commentary, in this passage. How? What are we going over? What are we talking about? Purim, right? What happened?
Lord finding favor in Esther, the king.
What happened?
Reversing the decree.
He found favor in us, like you said, by reversing the decree, right? By what? Choosing Esther to be the queen instead of Vashti. Esther was a what? A Jew, right? So we see that the Lord yet chose Israel. Read.
Con. And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them.
So the strangers shall be joined with them. Here's the point, right?
Con.
They became Jews by what?
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
This is how they became Jews, because they cleaved to our laws, statutes, and commandments. Right. They were now commandment keepers, right? Even though they were not what bloodline Jews, they still what falling in line with our order, with our decree. Right. When you understand that we the runners of this thing, right? When we the top dogs. When the sister say, yeah, but the children still eat the bread off the table, right? The crumbs. Yeah, now you understand. Now you cooking. Now you understand. They became Jews by accepting our law, statutes, and commandments. It had nothing to do with bloodline. They were no spiritual Jews, were no multi-ethnic church. They became Jews by keeping our law. Right? Go ahead, J-Bob.
And it says that they gonna cleave. It ain't gonna cleave like, hey, I'm just gonna accept it. No, it's not gonna be a acceptance, because they don't want to accept it now, and they're not gonna accept it when Christ comes. Right? Verse 2, this is how they gonna cleave.
Con. Verse number 2, and the people shall take them.
This is how they gonna cleave. We're gonna have to take them into captivity. We ain't gonna sit up and say, hey, we love y'all, brothers, and we love y'all, hey, my brother. No, like they be trying to do. No, this ain't gonna be hey, my brother, because they said hey, my brother, and killed 77 million Native Americans. That's right. They said, hey, my brothers, and guess what? Had us believing the so-called white Jesus. Right? And it turned our whole nation upside down. Right? Because now, yes, because they took the yokes off our hands, now they had the yokes on our minds, in our brains. Right? Yeah, I'll read it.
Con. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Because guess what? But you're gonna have to keep the commandments to get it.
That's right.
Right? Read it.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
This is how they gonna become Jews. This is how they're gonna become Israel. We gonna have to take them and bring them to our place. Right? So how you be called, how your name Brown and Johnson, they're gonna become our last names. That's right. Messed up. D. Read on.
Con. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
And bring them to their place. Read.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
For what?
In the land of the Lord. For servants.
For slaves.
And handmaids.
Y'all see how they go. That's what that's going to have to be. Read on.
And they shall take them captives, who captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors.
So man, this is the day everybody waiting on. Guess what, man? I'm telling you, Israel, I know we trying to, you know what I'm saying, we patient, but man, we really want this we could end like within the next hour or so, man. We could be about, man, I really don't want to go work Monday. I mean, just man, I'm talking about, guess what? I'm you know, I don't want to say it on the camera, but I'm still right now, right? Right? We could just end this in the next hour or so, and it'd be okay with me, right? Go ahead.
But the heathen, real quick, the heathen got to understand though. They always talking about, yeah, we're Jew, we're spiritual. It ain't by your choice. It's by our choice. You go become a Jew because we said that, hey, you go get down and lay down, heathen. Right? It ain't you just, I became a Jew. No, you did not if we didn't give you the authorization. And how do you get the authorization? You be brought back to your place. Where is the heathen place? Beneath us. A lot of them can't do it. Therefore, by default, you will never become a Jew. You will never get down with the laws of the Most High God. But for the ones, like the Edomite at camp that one day, they came out there and told the other Edomite, hey, yeah, man, they the real Jews, man. Yeah, do you understand? They saying they're going to take us in captivity. They say, yeah, we took them in captivity. Yeah. Yes, you can become a Jew, right? You can start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and start what? Being our good little slave. Right? So it ain't their choice of becoming a Jew. It's us putting them in their place saying, yeah, you can become a Jew now, right? But it's not blood. It's nowhere in blood. It's no spiritual. It's only them keeping the commandments as being heathens. And we saying, well, yeah, you can be our slave.
All right.
That's it. Go ahead.
Your brothers and sisters understand that. Like I say, Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. The precepts, even Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. Brothers and sisters have to understand how to break it down and what it literally means. Go to Esther chapter 9, verse 1. We'll cover this real quick because we still got destruction of Nicanor. Read that up.
The book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse number 1.
Break it out.
Now in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary.
So that day was made for us to be put to death, when in fact the Most High God reversed it. Read on.
That the Jews had ruled over them, that hated them.
That what up?
That hated them.
That hated them. That what tells us about us having a hatred for them. They have always had a hatred for us, man. Always. Jump down to verse 2.
Verse number 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt. And no man could withstand them.
No man could withstand them. Read on up.
For the fear of them fell upon all people.
And that's the point. That's what y'all need to precept with 8 and 17. They became Jews or made to keep our laws because our fear fell upon them. Make sure y'all write it down. Precept that together. Guess what? Even we write stuff down. Let me write it down.
Right. And why were they fearful, like it said in 17? And became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. Because what? Now we were put into a higher ranking place now, right? That's right. Now we were able to what? Make laws and make decisions now. Oh, Haman tried to gallow Mordecai, but now you see we about to start gallowing y'all ass.
That's right.
So yeah, you probably want to start keeping these laws. You probably want to get down and make sure you don't do nothing on the Sabbath. Edomite, heathen. You probably want to make sure that you go do everything that we tell you to do. Because we got gallows waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? And they about 125 feet high.
That's
the
right.
fear of the Jews fell upon them. That's why they got down.
That's right.
And when we get back together right now, how we doing? When we start getting back into power of this thing, because now if we pleasing the Lord make our enemies be at peace.
That's right.
Now they go get that fear on them. They ain't waking up. They're already stronger than us, faster than us. Right? The niggers, they're faster. Look at he running. He ran a 10 flat and 100 yards. How did he do it? Right? It's because we stronger, we faster. That fear is going to fall upon them. Go ahead.
Read verse 3 out.
Verse number 3. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews.
Did what up?
Helped the Jews.
Read on.
Because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
Because the fear of Mordecai. Read verse 4.
For Mordecai was great in the king's house.
Read on.
And his fame went out throughout all the provinces.
This is the point. Read
on.
For
this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater.
That's the spirit that brothers and sisters want to have, man. You want to have that spirit of waxing greater and greater in this truth. Every brother and sister underline that part. Remember, y'all want to underline the main points in the story. So y'all can go back, read these things in their full context, and make sure that you hit on the main details. Jump down to verse 13. Verse 10, Salakia.
Verse number 10.
Salakia, y'all go ahead.
Let me get a. Let's go. Let's go to Psalm chapter 18, verse 43. Like Ak is going into, because you got to think Mordecai being faithful to the Most High, not willing to bow down, the Lord raised him up.
That's right.
Right. And this is the spirit that, like you say, going into feast days, they should put a spirit on brothers and sisters, man, to see how courageous and how much spirit that the brothers had on them. Should make brothers and sisters step up and have that same spirit on them too, man.
That's right.
Chapter 18 and verse 43. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 18 and verse number 43. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people.
Right, because this is what Mordecai was going through. He said he delivered him from the strivings of the people, meaning what? Wicked Haman wanted to kill him and wanted to kill our people, right? Read it.
And thou hast made me the head of the heathen.
And he has made us. This is how when they cleave to us, this is when he made us the head of the heathens, right? They start coming upon our law, statutes, and commandments, right? Read it.
Con, a people whom I have not known shall serve me.
Shall serve me, right? Read.
As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me.
Read.
The strangers shall submit themselves unto me.
So this is how the Lord raised Mordecai up in the end, right? This is how he raised Esther up, right? Because of him being faithful to the Most High, right? Our own enemy. This is how the Lord made our enemies our footstool, right? But read on.
The strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their close places.
So this is what's happening now. Now you see the roles reverse. How you say how wicked Haman, he had tried to put fear on the Jews. Guess what? The Most High God, seeing how faithful Mordecai was, and he reversed the role. Right, and this is what brothers and sisters got to be striving, especially, man, going to these feast days. These things supposed to put the spirits on brothers and sisters to raise our spirits up, right?
That's right.
Go ahead up.
Jump down to verse 10. Esther chapter 9, verse 10.
Con. The book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse number 10.
Bring it out.
The 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they.
So they slew their 10 sons. Read on up.
But on the spoil laid they not their hand.
And didn't take the spoil of them, man. Jump down to verse 13.
Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also, according unto the day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows.
Hey, hold on, Rick. I know we got destruction NICANOR 11, but hold up. Go back to verse 5. I know for the time's sake, but hey, we in here. Hey, we in here. Read verse 5.
Con, verse number 5. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies.
All of them with what?
With the stroke of the sword. And slaughter and destruction.
Read on.
And did what they would do unto those that hated them.
Read that slow. Don't go over that. And did what they would unto those that hated them.
That's right.
What do I want to do with this Esau, this Edomite today? Yeah, you hate me. I want to dash him against a stone. Oh, okay. Well, happy shall I be to throw this little on the wall. And I mean, hey, this is what the Bible is speaking on, and this is how great this is of a feast that we should be, like Ox said, in straight gratitude, man. We were able to do what we wanted to do with the heathen, man. That's us being on top, man. We didn't have a lot of this time frame, man. This is very minimal in our life, in our existence as Israelites, right? So for our people, we have to remember these things and exalt the Most High God because of what He did for us at this time, knowing that Revelations 2, like I went to 26, great precept for it, right? Say He gonna give us power to rule over the nations, right? And that's what we're looking for, man. We had power to do what we wanted to do, man. Right? Go ahead. I just had that. Man, it was
that's a great point. Salakia. Jump down to verse 14.
Con, verse number 14. And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan.
Read on.
And they hang Haman's 10 sons.
So not only did they get Haman, but they also got his sons. Read on up.
For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month Adar.
That's what we approach. Read on.
And slew 300 men at Shushan, but on the prey they laid not their hand.
Because we were the prey. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse number 16. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives.
And did what up?
And stood for their lives.
Read on up.
And had rest from their enemies.
That's why we're partaking in this, man, to get rest from our enemies, man. So that we don't have to worry about calling in, or guess what? Am I going to get fired for trying to keep Passover all the way through, or Pentecost all the way through, or day of Feast of Tabernacles? That's right. That's what we doing this for. Read on up.
And slew of their foes 75,000.
Man, that's a lot of people. Read on up.
But they laid not their hands on the prey.
Read on up.
On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Remember, this should be a day of feasting and gladness. Read on up.
But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same. They rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
So we see 13 going into 2 days. Read on up.
Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another.
So it's okay for brothers and sisters to give gifts one to another. Jump down to verse number 24.
Verse 24. Because Haman, the son of Amadatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews.
The enemy of who?
Of all the Jews.
Read on up.
Had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is the lot.
The who?
That is the lot.
Read on up.
To consume them and to destroy them.
Let's get the classic. Esther chapter what? 10 verse 10. Read this right quick.
The book of Esther, chapter 10 and verse number 10.
Bring it out.
Therefore hath he made 2 lots.
Read on.
One for the people of God.
Read on.
And another for all the Gentiles.
So it's 2 lots that the Most High God has already decided. Right. One for the people of God and one for the Gentiles. It's 2 lots, man. If we were all one, guess what? It'd just be 1 lot. This is plain. Read on up.
Come. And these 2 lots came at the hour in time and day of judgment.
Read on up.
Before God amongst all nations.
Read on.
So God remembered his people and justified his inheritance.
Y'all got something else, Bruce, before we touch on destruction of Nicanor? You got something, J-Ball? Let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Remember, y'all want to make sure y'all go back. We hit on the main parts, but make sure y'all go back and read it in full detail. It's always a great read, man. The plots, the twists. Most High God is very theatrical, man. Very, man. He could tell a story. He could perform a story, man. First Maccabees chapter 6. Get straight to it. Read this right quick. It's only like 2 chapters. Yeah, start from the top.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse number 1. About that time, King Antiochus, traveling through the high countries, heard, say they, that Elamias in the country of Persia was a city greatly renowned for riches, silver and gold.
So we know this is going into King Antiochus Epiphanes, wicked as hell. Talking about wicked as hell. Read on.
And that there was in it a very rich temple, wherein were coverings of gold and breastplates and shields, which Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The who are?
The Macedonian.
So it's making another reference to Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian. Read on.
King, who reigned first among the Grecians, had left there. Wherefore he came and sought to take the city and to spoil it. But he was not able, because they of the city, having had warning thereof, rose up against him in battle, So he fled and departed thence with a great heaviness and returned to Babylon.
Going into Antiochus, read on up.
Moreover, there came one who brought in tidings into Persia that the armies which went against the land of Judea were put to flight.
Were
put to flight.
Uh-huh.
And that Lysias, who went forth first with a great power, was driven away of the Jews.
So Lysias is what you would call like a nobleman, a council of the king of Antiochus. Jump over. Do I want that? Yeah, thanks. Read that right quick. Is that it? 30. Yes, read that. No, it's another one. Damn it. It's another one that I want. Yeah, read 38 right quick. I'm trying to find. I had it highlighted last night. Oh no, I want First Maccabees chapter 6, verse 55. Salaki. This is over chapter. Getting ahead.
Come on. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse number 55. And at that time, Lysias heard say that Philip, whom Antiochus the king, whiles he lived, had appointed to bring up his son Antiochus, that he might be king.
That he might be what?
That he might be king.
Jump back over to chapter 6 and verse 6.
Come. Book of First Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse number 6. And that Lysias, who went forth first with a great power, was driven away of the Jews, and that they were made strong by the armor and power and store of spoils, which they had gotten of the armies whom they had destroyed.
So we see them jump over to First Maccabees 3 and 32. Salaki.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse number 32. So he left Lysias, a nobleman, and one of the blood royal, to oversee the affairs of the king, from the river Euphrates unto the borders of Egypt.
So we see that Lysias was higher up. He was a nobleman, and he was like a counselor unto Antiochus. Let's go back to First Maccabees chapter 6. Are we going too fast? Raise your hand. Who you laughing at? My bad, Junior. First Maccabees chapter 6. Read that out.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse number 7. Also that they had pulled down the abomination which he had set up upon the altar in Jerusalem, and that they had compassed about the sanctuary with high walls as before, and his city Bethsura.
So what am I looking for, Brother Bala? What is this going into? Verse 7. See if brothers know, man. See if brothers are paying attention and understand the history. Slow on the trigger. Trying to recover. What you doing? Read verse 7 again.
Also that they had pulled down the abomination which he had set up upon the altar in Jerusalem.
So this is making reference to Daniel going into the abomination of desolation, where they pulled down all the abomination that the Greeks had set up in the temple, going into what? The feast of what? Dedication. Come on. Did you say dedication? Did you say? Yeah, you all right. We want straight to the point, though. You know what I'm saying? So we know without a shadow of a doubt that you know what you're talking about. That's the point. Read on up.
Verse number 8. Now when the king heard these words, he was astonished and sore moved, whereupon he laid him down. So like he laid him down upon his bed and fell sick for grief, because it had not befallen him as he looked for.
So he was mad that, guess what? He couldn't get what he wanted this time. Another king, Haman, the same type spirit. Read on up.
Verse number 9. And there he continued many days, for his grief was ever more and more.
Read on up.
And he made account that he should die.
Read on.
Wherefore he called for all his friends and said unto them, the sleep is gone from mine eyes, and my heart faileth for very care.
So we see how Esau, every time they catch a little hardship, they ready to end it all, man. It's the same spirit. Read on up.
Verse number 11. And I thought with myself, into what tribulation am I come? And how great a flood of misery is it wherein now I am?
Read on up.
For I was bountiful and beloved in my power. But now I remember the evils that I did at Jerusalem.
So he's starting to remember the Most High God putting it on his spirit how wicked he was to us. Read on up.
And that I took all the vessels of gold and silver that were therein, and sent to destroy the inhabitants of Judea without a cause.
Without a what?
Without a cause.
It's the same spirit we literally just read from Haman. He literally trying to destroy all the Jews without a cause because he don't like Mordecai. Because he mad for real, like Brother Azariah said. You got to take that up with him, man. Read on up.
I perceive, therefore, that for this cause these troubles are come upon me.
You damn right. Read on.
And behold, I perished through great grief in a strange land.
Read on up.
Then called he for Philip, one of his friends, whom he made ruler over all his realm, and gave him the crown and his robe and his signet, to the end he should bring up his son Antiochus and nourish him up for the kingdom. So King Antiochus died there in the 149th year.
So you had another King Antiochus, his son, take up in his stead. Read on up.
Now when Lysias knew that the king was dead, he set up Antiochus his son, whom he had brought up being young, to reign in his stead, as his name being called Eupator. About this time, they that were in the tower shut up the Israelites round about the sanctuary.
So they constantly, this is them constantly what? At odds with Israel. This is going into the Greek and Israelite wars, the Maccabean wars. Judas Maccabees weren't playing the games with them, man.
That's right.
Even though they still have power, the Most High, we had the Most High God with us, man. And he was fighting on behalf of Judah Maccabees and his brother. So we was taking them down with very few men. That's showing you the power of the Most High. Yes, Ahmad? Good. Oh, read on up.
About this time, they that were in the tower shut up the Israelites round about the sanctuary, and sought always their hurt and strengthening of the heathen.
Read that last part again.
And sought always their hurt.
And sought what up?
Always their hurt.
The heathen, especially Edomites, have always sought our hurt. Read on up.
And the strengthening of the heathen.
That's the point. And the strengthening of the heathen. They know if they keep us from keeping God's laws, they know it's no way we can stop them. This is the point. This has always been the plan. Read on up.
Wherefore Judas, proposing to destroy them, called all the people together to besiege them. So they came together and besieged them in the 150th year. And he made mounts for shot against them.
Set up people with archers. Read on up.
And other engines.
Engines. Do brothers know what engines are going into? Like catapults and battering rams. This is what engines is going into. Weapons of war. Read on up.
Howbeit, certain of them that were besieged got forth, unto whom some ungodly men of Israel joined themselves.
So we have always had what? Ungodly men of Israel. Give me First Maccabees chapter what? 1 and 11. Read this right quick.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse number 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Who are?
Wicked men.
Read on up.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So this is what we would call token or coon Negroes. Negroes that think we can't do nothing without Esau. Go ahead, up.
This is what you call Christianity. This is the modern day Christian, man. Because guess what? They think what we doing is so wrong, man, and they just want a little master. Why him? Why him, man? Right? Go ahead, up.
Y'all write down what? First Maccabees 1 and 11 next to 6 and 21.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 6 and verse number 22.
Bring it out.
And they went unto the king and said, how long will it be ere thou execute judgment and avenge our brethren?
Man, do you hear what these wicked niggas are saying, man? I'm talking about they looking for Esau to exact vengeance upon us. I mean, that is crazy, man. Crazy work. Read it again, huh?
And they went unto the king and said, how long will it be ere thou execute judgment and avenge our brethren? We have been willing to serve thy father and to do as he would have done, Salaki, and to do as he would have us, and to obey his command.
And obey his commandment rather than obeying God's commandment. This is wicked, man. Give me Acts 5:29, man. That's wicked, man.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse number 29.
Bring it out.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
Rather than who?
Rather than men.
Let's go back. First Maccabees chapter 6, verse 24.
Con. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse number 24. For which cause they of our nation besiege the tower and are alienated from us.
Why are they alienated from us? Because they done became coon Negroes.
Let me go. Let's go to Second Maccabees right quick. Second Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 16. Because like you say, when you dealing with some coon Negroes, man, even our people, man, just think about the Maccabees had to call them out too, man.
That's right.
They was tired of them fools, man. Right? Read these up.
Book of Second Maccabees, chapter 4, and verse number 16. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies.
That's right.
And avengers.
Make sure brothers write that down beside it, because that's the same thing they want Esau to be right now. They want Esau to be our avengers, and they are enemies too. They know that most of our people know Esau is our enemy, right? But they still want them to be our avengers, right? Because they love Master so much, man. Right? Read that again.
That's right.
Second Maccabees, chapter 4, and verse 16. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers.
I read.
Whose custom they followed so earnestly.
Whose customs they follow so earnestly, right? Read.
And unto whom they desire to be like in all things.
Man, if this ain't our people right now, man.
For real. The same exact spirit.
I'm talking about, and it ain't left the earth, man. Go ahead, up.
Let's go back to First Maccabees. You got some up? First Maccabees chapter 6, verse 25.
Con. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse number 25.
Break it out.
Neither have they stretched out their hand against us only, but also against all their borders. And behold, this day are they besieging the tower at Jerusalem to take it, the sanctuary also, and Bethsura have they fortified. Wherefore, if thou doest not prevent them quickly, they will do greater things than these. Neither shalt thou be able to rule them.
And we had our own people wanting the other nations to rule over us, man. That's crazy, man. It's the same exact thing today, man. Thinking that we can't do nothing without Master, man. Every time we always ask, the first people that they always ask is, y'all don't allow white people in y'all congregation? No. We're like, bro, what about you? I'm talking about they have destroyed our people so much that our people don't even care about themselves anymore. That's literally what Christianity have done. Read on out.
Con. Verse number 28.
Bring it out.
Now, when the king heard this, he was angry.
He was what?
He was angry.
So now he's getting more pissed off. Read on.
And gathered together all his friends and the captains of his army and those that had charge of the horse. Then, so like it there came also unto him from other kingdoms and from isles of the sea.
Read on up.
Bands of hired soldiers.
Man, he calling damn near everybody, man, to come against us. Read on up.
So that the number of his army was 100,000 footmen and 20,000 horsemen and 32 elephants exercised in battle.
In what?
In battle.
Read on up.
They went through Idumea.
These went through Idumea. Pull up Idumea. Where is Idumea? Who knows? Brothers should know this. What you got, Yadawan? That's right. South of Israel. South of Israel. Make sure y'all make a mental note. See you back there. Shalom, shalom. Brother Shalom. Y'all see this is south of Judea. Idumea is another word for what, Shalom? Mount Sierra or what? You finna say it, that's right. Edom. Same thing. Idumea is the Greek and Roman way of saying it. Edom is the Hebraic way of saying it. Read this out.
Verse number 31. These went through Idumea and pitched against.
Hold on real quick. Say, I'm talking about raise it. But who they kill? Israeli officials say Iran's supreme leader Khamenei has been killed. Damn. Hey, boy, say raise it, man. Things finna start heating up. I ain't gonna lie, that's why the Most High God, hey, brothers and sisters have to stay in the spirit, man. Things, hey, as it heats up over there, stuff is gonna start to heat up over here. So they was trying to, I know they was sick of him because he seemed like a weak leader. So hey, it is what it is, man. Now we know, like, hey, eventually all Ishmael and Persians, or really Ishmael, gonna start to come together as the dragons of Arabia, because they getting tired of America, man. They getting tired of it.
So that was they said that America is saying that they wanted to kill their leader so that the people can govern themselves because he was weak. You know, that's a popular persuasion.
That's right, a popular persuasion.
They trying to gain that, man. But that's what they said. I read that this morning.
Because, and I'm glad that Ox said it, ultimately they trying to do what? Put democracy over there. You can't make people put democracy over there, because we see what democracy does to a nation of people. It destroys it. You had this black lady on TikTok and on YouTube, man. She was showing how countries looked before America came, and they showed how countries looked after it came. America tore those countries down, man. Tore them down. Still all the resources. Guess what? Put third companies in there, and when they companies don't grow how they want to, they could just easily ship them out and destroy that place. Go ahead,
Man, you got to think. You think these Edomites not trying to not let these prophecies fulfill? That's why you think they trying to prevent this. They want the World War III, but they trying to prevent it too. That's why they know about Gog and Magog. They know about the destruction that's supposed to come to America. You think they not trying to, everything that they think they can try to move out of the way, they gonna do it just to prevent, because they know we got next, right? Go ahead.
Let's go back, man. All praise to the Most High on that, man. That's an end time real update, man. Read this right quick.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse number 31. These went through Idumea and pitched against Bethsura, which they assaulted many days, making engines of war. But they of Bethsura came out and burnt them with fire and fought valiantly.
So it's showing you that they came up from the southern part of Israel to attack us. Read on up.
Upon this, Judas removed from the tower and pitched at Beth Zacharias.
Read on up.
Over against the king's camp. Then the king, rising very early, marched fiercely with the host towards Beth Zacharias, where his armies made them ready to battle, and sounded the trumpet.
Read on up.
And to the end they might provoke the elephants to fight. They showed them the blood of grapes and mulberries.
To agitate the elephants, to get them to just basically trample the people. Read on up.
Moreover, they divided the beast among the armies, and for elephant they appointed 1,000 men, armed with coats of mail,
going into armor. Read on up.
And with helmets of brass on their heads. And besides this, for every beast were ordained 500 footmen, it's like a horseman of the best.
Read on up.
These were ready at every occasion, wheresoever the beast was, and whithersoever the beast went, they went also. Neither departed they from him.
Read on.
And upon the beasts were there strong towers of wood, which covered every one of them, and were girt fast unto them with devices. There were also upon every one 32 strong men that fought upon them, besides the Indian that ruled them.
The Indian, and Sister Genesis asked this question: what Indian is this? It's Elam, East India. Read on up.
As for the remnant of the horsemen, they set them on the side, on this side, and that side, at the two parts of the host, giving them signs what to do, and being harnessed all over amidst the ranks.
So we have to remember, put up the map again, and that's a great illustration. That's why you always see it in these war movies, how they use elephants to use to trample the people so you can sit up high and they can shoot arrows at people down below. Pull up the map, because remember, it have always been wars over here in the Middle East. Always. There's no peace in the Middle East from Israel to India.
And you got to also think they use those elephants, like, especially when you had like a big, say when they had like a wall or a big defense, those elephants, they'll use the elephants, like say they'll throw the ropes on the wall and they help to tear down walls. They help to trample over different stuff to try to break down their barriers and their different wars. I mean, different war tactics that they had, or different weapons that they had. So those elephants was used for a lot of things.
That's right.
All right. Hold on one second.
So yeah, all this area. This is what, remember, even from the time of the Greeks, they were still fighting over these particular land masses because that power was just transferred from Seleucia, from Ptolemy, from Epiphanes, people that we have just read, from all the way over to Israel to all the way over to East India. So these are these particular land masses. Remember, they came up from the southern part of Israel to attack us. Keep reading up.
Con. Verse number 39.
Uh-huh.
Now when the sun shone upon the shields of gold and brass, the mountains glistered therewith and shined like lamps of fire.
Read on up.
So part of the king's army, being spread upon the high mountains and part of the valleys below, they marched on safely and in order. Wherefore all that heard the noise of their multitude and the marching of the company and the rattling of the harness were moved, for the army was very great and mighty.
Because remember, he gathered all these people from everywhere to do what? To come against Judas and the Maccabean brothers. Read on up.
Then Judas and his host drew near and entered into battle, and there was slain of king's army 600 men.
Read on.
Eleazar also, surnamed Saron, perceiving that one of the beasts armed with royal harness was higher than all the rest, was supposing that the king was upon him, put himself in jeopardy to the end he might deliver his people and get him a perpetual name.
Read on up.
Wherefore he ran upon him courageously through the midst of the battle, slaying on the right hand and on the left, so that they were divided from him on both sides. Which done, he crept under the elephant and thrust him under and slew him, whereupon the elephant fell down upon him, and there he died.
So we see he died, man. He a courageous act, man. He took down that elephant, man. You have to understand, think about you fighting an elephant that's literally in war mode. We ain't talking about these friendly elephants at the zoo. No, this is war mode. Read on up.
Con. Verse number 47. Howbeit the rest of the Jews, seeing the strength of the king and the violence of his forces, turned away from them.
So he had some of our people got faint-hearted. Can't be faint-hearted when it comes to this truth, man. Especially when we in spiritual battle.
Right.
It's laws on that. If you faint-hearted, hey, go back. Don't come out to the streets, man. Right. Stay in class. Get built up some more, man. Read on up.
Then the king's army went up to Jerusalem to meet them, and the king pitched his tents against Judea and against Mount Zion.
Read on up.
But with them that were in Bethsura, he made peace.
He made what up?
He made peace.
Read on up.
For they came out of the city because they had no victuals there to endure the siege, it being a year of rest to the land.
So remember, it said they made peace, but the scriptures tell us to what? Never seek their peace, man. Never make a covenant with them. We know that they break all their covenants. Read on up.
So the king took Bethsura and set a garrison there to keep it.
Meaning a watch. A garrison is a watch that you use to control traffic in and out of that place. Read on up.
As for the sanctuary, he besieged it many days and set there artillery.
Artilleries is going into archers and going into catapults. Read on up.
With engines and instruments to cast fire and stones, and pieces to cast darts and slings.
That's right. Read on up.
Whereupon they also made engines against their engines and held them battle a long season.
Read on.
Yet at their last vessels being without victuals, for that it was the 7th year, and they in Judea that were delivered from the Gentiles had eaten up the residue of the store.
So we didn't have enough victuals to be able to sustain us in that war. That's why it's a lot that come in the tactics and war tactics. It's a lot that comes with that. Remember, you still have to fight. You still have to have brothers that's on infantry. still have to have brothers and sisters working together to get the soldiers food and to make sure that we have food and water to sustain us. It's a lot that come with war tactics, man. Read on out. You got some else? Got some?
Yeah, I got some. I'm gonna show y'all something right quick. Go to the book of John right quick, chapter 15. This is the main reason why Christ. This is why one of the main reasons why Christ was trying to tell us about, because being that we in spiritual war, this is something that our mindset that we gonna be facing, right? That's why we go through things that we go through, because a lot of times they know we Israelites. They can see the fringes, they see the beards, they see the women wearing dresses, right, with the fringes on. They can see all these things, right? But we're not doing this just because of show, right? We doing this because the love of our family and the love of our friends, the love of our nation, right? Go to John chapter 15 and verse 13.
The book of St. John chapter 15 and verse number 13. Greater love hath no man had, so like it that hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
So this is the same thing. This is the same account that we just read right here in the book of First Maccabees chapter 6, right? Where Eleazar, what did he do? He ran up on the elephant, and guess what? Even though it collapsed on him, he did it for what? For his nation, right? And even like how they go into war and fighting for our nation. They might not have food, they might not, but guess what they doing? They fighting for our nation, and they laying their life on the line for it. Why you think we can read our history in the same spirit that they got on? The Lord want this same spirit on us too. Guess what? Things might not be always good enough for you in the truth, but sometimes, guess what? You're going to go through these things, but you got to endure those things, right? And this is just the hardship that the Lord is preparing us for, especially going into Jacob's trouble, man. Because we just seen, like you say, in real time that we pulled up on the TV screen showing brothers that, guess what? Iran dictator just got killed. So we got to, this is the time of, especially going into, we in the destruction of Nicanor, right? And we're coming into the PURIM and destruction of Nicanor, brothers, in all our high holy days, we supposed to be getting that spirit on us. But guess what? These things coming up, Sabbath day coming up, guess what? That spirit need to be getting up on you, right? We should be fighting towards these things, man. Go ahead, up.
First Maccabees chapter 1, start at verse 54.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 6 and verse number 54.
Break it out.
There were but a few left in the sanctuary, because the famine did so prevail against them, that they were faint to disperse themselves, every man to his own place.
So we had war and we had famine. Read on up.
And at that time Lysias heard that Philip, whom Antiochus the king, whilst he lived, had appointed to bring up his son Antiochus, that he might be king.
So he was training up, bringing up his son to replace him. Read on up.
Was returned out of Persia and Media, and the king's host also that went with him.
Because remember, the Greeks did what? Took over Persia and Media. Remember, it's all continuously in historic alignment. Read on up.
And that he sought to take unto him the ruling of the affairs.
Read on up.
Wherefore he went in all haste and said to the king and the captains of the host and the company, we decay daily, and our victuals are but small, and the place we lay siege unto is strong, and the affairs of the kingdom lie upon us.
Read on up.
Now therefore let us be friends with these men, and make peace with them, and with all their nation.
And with what up?
And with all their nation.
And with all their nation. What's the precept? Psalms 55 and verse 20. Read that right quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse number 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant.
He had did what up?
He had broken his covenant.
Read on up.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
But what up?
But war was in his heart.
So we see when they come and speak peace unto us, war is really in their heart. Go back to First Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 59. Start at 58 and read on down.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 58.
Break it out.
Now, therefore, let us be friends with these men and make peace with them and with all their nations, and covenant with them that they shall live after their laws, as they did before.
As they what?
As they did before.
Read on up.
For they are therefore displeased and have done all these things because we abolished their laws.
We fighting because guess what? Y'all done tried to do away with our laws, man. That's why we literally standing up fighting right now, because y'all doing the same tactics, man. And the Most High God is not letting that ride, man. Read on up.
So the king and the princes were content, wherefore he sent unto them to make peace, and they accepted thereof. Also the king and the princes made an oath unto them, whereupon they went out of the stronghold. Then the king entered into Mount Zion.
Entered into who up?
Mount Zion.
Read on up.
But when he saw the strength of the place, he brake his oath.
He did what?
He brake his oath.
The scriptures are the truth, man. We have to learn to start believing in these things. Like we always say, the Most High God is giving the intent of their mind, the things that they think. Read on up.
Con. He brake his oath that he had made, and gave commandment to pull down the wall round about.
Now, why do you think he broke his oath when he went into the city? Why do y'all think that? Any brother want to answer? Say it again.
He's seen order.
He's seen order. He's seen things being established how the Most High God commanded us, man. And they don't like, the heathen don't like when we doing good, man. They don't like that, man. They don't like that. That's why it infuriated him. Read on up.
Verse 63. Afterward departed he in all haste, and returned unto Antiochia, where he found Philip to be master of the city. So he fought against him and took the city by force.
So you have even these own Edomites fighting at all with them own selves, with their own selves. Read on up.
Chapter 7 and verse number 1. In the 151st year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome and came up with a few men unto a city of the seacoast.
So remember, we have Seleucus is who? Who is Seleucus? I need brothers to know this. One of Alexander's 4 generals. You have Seleucus, you have Ptolemy, you have Lysimachus, and you have Cassander. Remember, they still kept having kids. That's why still evils multiplied in the earth, because these kids still on the damn planet today. Read on up.
Con, and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him.
So he's getting mad, obviously, because Lysias probably wasn't getting the job done how he was supposed to. Read on up.
Wherefore he knew it. He said, let me not see their faces.
He wasn't even trying to see them. Let's see what he did. Read on.
So his host slew them. Now when Demetrius was set upon the throne of his kingdom.
So he got Edomite on Edomite crying. They don't give a damn about each other either, man. They don't, man. That's what we're seeing right now. All of this division. And like how the Most High God said, a kingdom divided against itself won't what? It won't stand. Read on up.
There came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having alchemists.
This week, read on up.
Who was desirous to be high priest.
I'm talking about go against your own people because of what? Status and clout. And you have a lot of our people that do that, man. Associate themselves with Esau just to get money and fame and power, when that stuff ain't gonna last. Only thing that's gonna last is you in the kingdom, man. Read on up.
For their captain. And they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and driven us out of our own land.
All praises. Read on.
Now, therefore, send some man whom thou trustest, and let him go and see what havoc he hath made amongst us.
So Judas, Maccabees, and the brethren, they steady taking down these generals, these men in command. No one can stand. So now they sending up the next man. Read on up.
And in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that aid them.
Read on.
Then the king chose Bacchus, a friend of the king.
So now he's next up. Read on up.
Who ruled beyond the flood, and was a great man in the kingdom, and faithful to the king.
The great flood is going into the Mediterranean Sea. Read on up.
In him he sent with that wicked alchemist, whom he made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel.
I'm talking about just straight wicked to go against your own people, man, for clout. Read on up.
So they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully.
Hey, with peaceable words with deceitfully. Hey, that's some heavy stuff right there, because that's how Esau deal.
Right.
That's what we always say. Hey, brother. Hey.
And see, that's what they did for the plantation. Every time the Negroes get in an uproar, they get one wicked Negro And this one wicked ass Negro will go to the Negroes to try to quiet Negroes down. Or he'll try to go to the Negroes to find out information, go bring back. You see how he just went told Esau, he told everything. He killing y'all nation. Man, look here, man. That man, you know what? Those type of people, man, even now, you think about right now, these same, even these churches and all these different pastors, but when you think they judgment ain't gonna be heavy on them, man? You think that ain't gonna be heavy on for them doing that, man? Go ahead,
Keep reading up. Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Just gonna say, just to put that in the mindset, and then you kind of see why Mattathias went to slew old buddy, man. I mean, I'm talking about just wicked to the point where you telling on us, you snooling, you snooping, trying to find something on us to go tell the heathen, the enemy. Yeah, Mattathias had to slew him, man. Sometimes we gotta do it. We gotta cut points. We gotta cut ways with him, man. You too far gone. Scripture said, you too far gone in this world. What? To be able to go, he can't come. Ain't no saving him, right?
Keep reading up.
Con, verse number 11. But they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power. Then did there assemble unto alchemists and baggies a company of scribes to require justice.
Hey, now we kind of see how the scribes and the Pharisees kind of come into play as well. Read on up.
Now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel.
So Assyrians are a sect of Israelites. Let me read this right quick. Pull up the Assyrians up. Assyrians. Yeah. This one right here. So we see Assyrians. It says they were the maintainers of the Mosaic law. They were maintainers of the Mosaic law against the invasion of Greek customs. When the Maccabees struggled against Antiochus IV Epiphanes, the Assyrians naturally joined their cause. So we see ultimately they went, and this is how they became. Now I need this definition. It says the Maccabean revolt, as devout saints or martyrs for their faith. They initially supported the Maccabees against the Seleucid Empire before becoming the likely forerunners of the Pharisees and Essenes. So we see how eventually the Assyrians emerged into what? The scribes, the Pharisees. We all seeing how this thing is coming into play. And we see how they align themselves with the Greeks, eventually aligning themselves with who? With Rome. Read on up.
Hold on, man.
Go ahead.
This is why you can't take the Apocrypha out. This is why you can't take this out, man. And if brothers, man, that's so heavy, man. Especially when you reading about the scribes and the Pharisees in the New Testament, brothers, man, y'all better, and sisters, man, y'all better catch hold of that, man.
That's right. Matter of fact, give me that in the book of Acts. What I want? John 11 and 46. That's what I want.
Con, the book of St. John, chapter 11 and verse number 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done.
Read on up.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
Read on up.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
So we see that, guess what? They were being subject to them because of what? Of fame and power. We knew that, guess what? You can keep certain Negroes in order, that Rome would take away their power and their money. Now we're seeing how these things are starting to emerge about in the New Testament. Go back to 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse number 13 again.
Come, the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse number 14.
Uh-huh.
For said they,
verse 13.
Verse 13. Now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them.
Because of what? Because of place and power. Read on up.
For said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he will do us no wrong.
And they telling them hey, he ain't gonna do us no wrong. He coming with a big damn army, man. Stop playing the games. We cannot be ignorant to that. Read on not.
So he spake unto them peaceably, and sware unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends.
Man, come on, man. Read on not.
Whereupon they believed him. Howbeit, they believed him. Howbeit he took of them 60 men.
Let me get a precept real quick, man. Go to 1 Maccabees 1:30. Real quick, man. Because when you give them credits, man, that's when they hit you with that what? Gotcha. Gotcha, bit. Oh, yeah, we got you. You believe that? What did he say? Y'all believe that malarkey? Can't believe they believe that malarkey. Read this out.
Book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 30.
Real quick, man.
And spake peaceable words unto them. But all was deceit.
But it was deceit, man. It takes for us to understand these peaceable words that they heathen give us, they are all deceit, man. Read.
For when they had given him credit.
But when we give credits to that deceit, credits mean when you start accepting it or believing that malarkey. Read.
He fell suddenly upon the city.
Gotcha.
And smote it very sore.
Gotcha. That's exactly what they do. They wait till you give credits to that. Oh, yeah, God loves everybody. Yeah, man. Why y'all hate talking to Esau like that? Gotcha. Gotcha. That's their popular persuasions right there, man. Go ahead, Doc. Just make sure y'all put that precept there.
Finish reading.
And destroyed much people of Israel.
That's right. Let's go back. Make sure y'all put it right there with 16. 1 Samuel chapter 7 and verse number 16 again.
The book of First Maccabees.
First Maccabees. Yeah, I know. That's why you got to stay awoke.
That's right.
I'm glad you up, twin. You caught it. Gotcha.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 16 from the top. Whereupon they believed him. Howbeit he took of them 60 men and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote.
Man, come on, man. Read on.
The flesh of thy saints have they cast out.
The flesh of thy saints, another saint's precept. Read on out.
Have they cast out, and their blood have they shed round about Jerusalem.
Read on out.
And there was none to bury them.
Man, that's going into the curses, man. The creatures will just eat us. Read on out.
Verse 18. Whereupon the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them. For they have broken the covenant and oath that they made.
I mean, Psalms 55 and 20 saying the same thing. Read on out.
And it's like after this, removed Bacchus from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezeth, where he sent and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. And where he had slain them, he cast them into the great pit.
Read on out.
Then committed he the country to Alchemists, and left him with a power to aid him. So Bacchus went unto the king.
So Alchemist got what he wanted. He aligned themselves with the enemy, and guess what? Satan rewarded him with that little bit. Go ahead.
See, this is the problem with our people. Man, we love and trust every damn body, man. That's the same thing they did then. We got the same spirit. We love and trust every damn body. They hate our damn guts, man. That's right. That's the thing that we got a problem with in Israel right now, man. We try our best in the truth not to even be like that, but man, look, we just got to make it plain, man.
That's right.
When our people, our own family, but they be cooning out, man. Bro, we get tired of that. Man, you see how every time we let them in a little bit, that's all they need. Just like what you call it? What's it? Wicked ass dough egg. He was told just to kill the priest. They went and killed the priests, killed the families, killed everything. Took all they look. That's what they want. They not gonna be satisfied, man, until they destroy everything. And this is how the so-called Edom work. That's why the Lord got to get rid of them. Right? Go ahead, up.
Read on, up.
Verse number 21. But Alchemist contended for the high priesthood.
So that wasn't even enough for him. He still wanted to be high priest, and he wanted the wickedest man's out in the earth. Remember, the high priest is one of the most righteous men. Read on up.
And unto him resorted all such as troubled the people, who after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel. He did much hurt in Israel. Read on up.
We talk about it's Jesse Jackson, ain't it?
Read 23.
Now, when Judas saw all the mischief that Alchemist and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out into all
Hold
the
up.
coasts.
Read 23 again.
Big con. Now, when Judas saw all the mischief that Alchemist and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the
So
heathen.
you got some real wicked Israelites out here that'll do much evil above the heathen. You have to watch out and separate yourselves from them brothers, man, or those sisters. Read on up.
He went out into all the coasts of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country.
Read on up.
On the other side, when Alchemist saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could.
Man, come on, man. Now you got our own people slandering our own name. Read on up.
Then the king sent Nicanor.
Now he's sending Nicanor. It done went from Bacchuside to Nicanor. It Most High God instead of killing them off, man. Read on up, or they haven't been replaced. Read on.
Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel.
Read on up.
With commandment to destroy the people.
Because who knows what Nicanor is known for? Who knows what he is known for? Bruce should know this. He is a world-known slave trader of the Jews.
Right.
Jump over to 1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 38. He's a slave trader of the Jews. That's why he bear deadly hate to us. Same spirit. Yes, I mean Salakia 3 and 38.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse number 38.
Break it out.
Then Lysias chose Ptolemy, the son of Dorimnes, and Nicanor.
And who?
And Nicanor.
Read on.
And Georgias, mighty men of the king's friends.
Read on.
And with them he sent 40,000 footmen and 7,000 horsemen to go into the land of Judah and to destroy it as the king commanded.
Read on.
So they went forth with all their power and came and pitched by Emmaus in the plain country.
Read on.
And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
For what?
For slaves.
Read on.
A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them.
So we see that he was a slave trader of our people. That's why he bore deadly hatred. Let's go back to 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse number 27.
Con. The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse number 27. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force.
Read on.
And sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words, saying, let there be no battle between me and you. Slaki, I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace.
Notice we see this over and over again. Deceitfully with friendly words. Peace but deceit. Peace but deceit. The Most High God has given us hints what never trust thine enemies. He done warned us time and time again, man. Even like Captain Yari, we can see literally as you read the Apocrypha why they took it out. No, nigga, take that out. Take it out. Man, it's too much information here that makes it plain. I'm talking about straight giving the game. Read on up.
Con. Verse number 29. He came therefore to Judas, and they saluted one another peaceably. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence.
By what up?
By violence.
Read on up.
Which thing after it was known to Judas, to wit, that he came unto him with deceit. He was so afraid of him and would see his face no more. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas beside Kafar Samala, where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David.
So we see even Judas put them to flight again. Read on up.
After this went Nicanor up to Mount Zion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peaceably and to show him the burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king. But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully, and spake proudly, and swore in his wrath, saying.
So you even had the coons come up, show him some love, and guess what he did? Spit in their damn face. And that's for our people that try to align themselves with that. The Most High God is showing you, you can't, a tiger can't change his stripes.
That's right.
A snake is always going to be a snake. You seen the video where he was watering that damn rattlesnake. He gave him some water in the sand. He get like, oh, yeah. And he bit him and he killed him. But can't be playing the games.
See, that should show us, like, and like, just to give our people a little inkling. If Esau is right here and they see, and you see some Jakes there with them Jakes is just like them. That's what the scriptures is letting us know. Don't think that them Jakes is not, they might come in thinking you peaceably among us. No, them Jakes is just like them. And they gonna, whatever Esau is about, guess what them Jakes is about too. They not there for no reason.
That's right.
Right?
How many times have you went and worked with somebody, you talk to them, and after you talk to them that first or second time, you be like, this motherfucker was raised with the white folk. This dude went to Plano East. This dude ain't never went to DISD. This is a Plano East guy. You were like, dang, but that's who they were brought up with. And then you get the understanding, guess what? Yeah, this nigga rat you out. Because he was raised with him. That's what he knows.
That's right. That's what he aligned with.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, I know I ain't the only one. You talk to somebody a few minutes like, where you went to school? Yeah, I went to Name and Forest. Yeah, that's exactly. You look like a Name and Forest. All right, I'll let you. All right. Okay. You didn't go to SOC. Nah, you didn't go to Mate. Nah, you didn't go to court. Hey, nah, yeah. All right.
For real. Read 34 again.
Verse 34. But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spake proudly.
Read on.
And swore in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his hosts be now delivered into my hands, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house.
He would do what?
I will burn up this house.
Read on.
And with that, he went out in a great rage.
Read on.
Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, Thou, O Lord, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people.
For who people?
For thy people.
Read on.
Be avenged of this man and his hosts, and let them fall by the sword.
And let them do what?
And let them fall by the sword.
Read on.
Remember their blasphemies, and suffer them not to continue any longer.
And suffer them not to continue any longer, man. Because Christ told us to do what? Pray for our enemies. No, pray for the destruction of your enemies. That's what the Bible ain't teaching our people, man. Read on.
Con. Verse number 38. Verse number 39, Salakia. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Beth-aron, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judas pitched in Adassa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Syrians.
Hold on now. You see how they say when Judas came out with the 3,000 men before he went to war, what did he do, man? He went prayed. Make sure he was in the right spirit, man.
That's right.
This is how, guess what, man? This is teach us on our day-to-day battles, when we dealing on our day-to-day battles and we see what we can be at our own jobs and things is going crazy. Guess what we should do before we go into them battles and talking to the people? Guess what we should do? Throw you a quick prayer up. This Bible is set up for us to get a design on how our life's supposed to go. And we're supposed to mirror this thing, man.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
Read on.
Con. O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Assyrians blasphemed, thy angel went out and smote 100, 80 and 5,000 of them.
So what is he doing? He's going over that history, showing how when in the time of need, we pray to the Most High. The Most High God at this particular time did what? He sent out an angel that killed who? Do y'all remember this account? Sennacherib, during Sennacherib's time. He killed 185,000 Assyrians. Y'all need, remember, Ox, that's why I'll be on y'all, because the Bible is literally saying the same thing over and over. A lot of times when Bruce read it, y'all think that it's saying something different. No, it's saying the exact same thing. This is going into the time of 1 Kings. Read on up.
Con, verse number 42. Even so, destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he had spoken blasphemy.
That he had did what up?
That he had spoken blasphemy against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness.
Read on up.
So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle.
So guess what? The next battle came up. He was the first one to die. Most High God ain't playing no games, man. Read on up.
Now, when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled.
So it goes to that old saying: you cut the head off the snake, guess what? The body gonna die. That's right. Read on up.
Then they pursued after them a day's journey from
chased them like a dog. These are precepts with Job. Read on up.
From Adassa unto Gazara, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets.
Read on up.
Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea.
Read on up.
Khan, round about, and closed them in, so that they turning back upon them that pursued them were all slain with the sword.
We got even the people that was trying to get away. Read on up.
And not one of them was left.
Read it again up.
And not one of them was left.
That goes into what? Obadiah. Every one of them.
That's right.
Read on up.
Afterwards, they took the spoils and the prey and smote off Nicanor's head.
They cut off his head. Read on up.
And his right hand.
And his right hand. Read on up.
Which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away and hanged them up towards Jerusalem.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, the Most High God is so theatrical and so poetic, man.
That's right.
I'm talking about, man, he can put a movie together. I'm talking about, man, everything is a sign within him. We may not always know it, but it's a sign behind that thing. He literally cut off his right hand because that's the hand. You know, yeah, give me that hand and that finger. And the head. And for real, and that tongue. Read on up.
Con. Verse 48. For this cause the people rejoiced greatly.
No, we were sad.
For this cause the people rejoiced greatly.
Read on up.
And they kept that day a day of great gladness.
Of great sadness.
Great gladness.
Read on up.
Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus the land of Judah was in rest a little while.
And with that, we say shalom. All praise to the Most High, to his son Yahweh. Have a happy destruction of Nicanor and a happy feast of Purim, man. And with that, we always say shalom. We always tell brothers and sisters to bring out a law. So we always read a law after each class. What you want? What you want? Say it again out. Oh, read. What you want out? Yeah, we can read both of them. Read that out.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, and verse number 16. For he said, because the Lord had sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Say, jump up to verse 14.
Verse number 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
Hey, all praise. What you want out? Deuteronomy 23:6.
Con, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse number 6.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity, all thy days forever.
For what?
Forever.
With that, long.